Well, hello, and welcome to my Kubota L2501 and L2501 50-hour maintenance video. Now, if you happen to own an L2501, don't worry. Almost all of these tasks still apply to your tractor. In fact, the main difference is you don't have a diesel particulate filter to worry about. In this video, I'll take you through each maintenance task step by step. But more than that, I'll show you some of the issues you may run into that your tractor manual does not cover. Also, I'll tell you what tools and supplies you'll need to have on hand for each task. In fact, there's a complete list of tools and supplies available for download from the DIY My Way website. You'll find a link to that page in the video description.
When doing maintenance on your tractor, you will need full access to all areas of the tractor. So if you have a front-end loader, you should remove it. Also, remove any implement you might have on the 3-point. I also remove the 3-point hardware. If you're changing engine or hydraulic oil, it's important to let the engine warm up for about 10 minutes before starting maintenance, especially in cold weather. The warm fluids drain quicker and more completely. Of course, you'll want your tractor's operator manual handy, but if you can, I recommend you make a copy of the maintenance checklist pages and have them on a clipboard for easy reference. I also made copies of the pages with all the procedures so as not to mess up the original manual with grease and dirt. You'll want to have some paper towels or shop rags on hand, and some nitrile gloves are nice to have for the ickier tasks. Oh, and about that checklist. Unfortunately, the maintenance tasks aren't in the same order as they are in the manual. However, they do have a column showing the page number in the manual. Note that the tasks that must be done after the first 50 hours are marked by a double circle. And any special notes show up here and are listed on the last page of the list. Also, if you want to find a specific task in the video, you'll find an index in the description to the time when the task starts. Now let's get to it. Okay, first test the engine start system. There are no tools needed for this. Sitting on the tractor, place all control levers in the neutral position. Set the parking brake. Depress the speed control pedal in the desired direction. Fully depress the clutch pedal. Make sure the PTO lever is disengaged. Turn the key to the start position. Hopefully, nothing happens. To test PTO safety, engage the PTO lever. Fully depress the clutch pedal. Put the speed control in neutral. Turn the key to the start position. Again, hopefully nothing happens. Silence is golden. For the final PTO test, start the tractor. Fully depress the clutch pedal. Engage the PTO lever. Then stand up from the seat. The engine should shut off after about 1 second. If your tractor passes these tests, you can check that off the list. If not, you should contact your dealer to arrange for service. Next, check wheel bolt torque. You will need a torque wrench that goes up to at least 160 pounds, a socket extension shaft, and 22 and 24 millimeter sockets. The front wheels are tightened to 100 foot-pounds using a 22 millimeter socket. The rear wheels are tightened to 160 foot-pounds using a 24 millimeter socket. This is where you'll need an extension shaft to reach the lugs on the rear wheels. Of course, repeat for the wheels on the other side. Next, lubricate the grease fittings. You'll need a grease gun and a rag or paper towel. Use a high-quality multi-purpose grease, NLGI-2 or NLGI-1. For four-wheel drive tractors, start with the tie rod grease fittings. First, wipe off the fittings with a cloth or paper towel to remove any dirt. A couple of squirts of grease will do. For two-wheel drive tractors, apply grease to the knuckle shafts. Apply grease to the front and rear axle support until you see grease flowing out of the breather port opposite the grease fitting. There are 3 fittings on the pedal shaft. Finally, grease your 3-point top link and side link. Next, adjust the clutch pedal. You'll need a 17mm wrench, some adjustable pliers, and a tape measure. Lightly press the clutch pedal until you feel resistance. Measure the amount of travel. The acceptable range of free travel is 0.8 inches to 1.2 inches. Mine is measuring 1 inch, so I don't need to adjust the clutch. However, if you do, the procedure is basically the same as for the brakes, but the clutch rod is a little harder to get to. Loosen the lock nut so that you can turn the rod to adjust the length. Then check the travel of the clutch pedal. Once it's in range, grip the rod with pliers and tighten the lock nut. To replace the transmission oil filter, you'll need an oil filter wrench, an oil pan, and of course a new oil filter. One thing I like about the L-Series tractors is that all the filters are easily accessible. Before removing the filter, clean any debris off the top of the filter and filter mount. I had a lot of dirt and grass on top of mine. Position your oil pan under the filter, then use the oil filter wrench to loosen the oil filter. Once loose, unscrew the old filter by hand. Clean off any remaining dirt from the filter mount. Apply a film of new transmission oil on the rubber seal of the new filter. Screw the new filter on by hand until it contacts the mount surface. Tighten it one more turn after the first contact. By the way, this filter is replaced at 50 hours and then every 200 hours. Check the hydraulic fluid level and top it off if needed. To change the engine oil, you will need a 19mm wrench, a 12mm wrench, an oil pan, and a funnel. You'll also need 7.1 quarts of premium grade diesel engine oil. Check your manual for the proper SAE type for your climate. Now is a good time to remove the left engine side panel with a 12mm wrench. The best place to store the bolt is right where it came from. Wipe any dirt off the oil cap and then remove it so the oil will drain faster. There are 2 oil drain plugs to drain. Position the oil pan under one of them, then loosen the plug with a wrench. Unscrew the plug by hand and be ready to reposition the pan if needed. Yep, I needed to, didn't I? Look how far that oil shoots out. Be prepared for this. Unless you have a large open pan, you may have to move the pan in toward the drain several times while it's draining. Once the oil is down to a drip, screw the plug back in and tighten with a wrench. Same song, second verse for the other side, only it won't gush out as far as the first. Insert the funnel into the oil port and add 7.1 quarts of oil. Then screw the oil cap back on. Check the dipstick to make sure it reads full. To replace the engine oil filter, you will need an oil filter wrench and an oil pan. Wipe off any loose dirt from around the filter and its mount. Loosen the filter with an oil filter wrench and make sure your oil pan is under the filter. Unscrew the old oil filter. The oil will start to dribble out onto the axle and then into the pan. Use a paper towel or rag to wipe any dirt off the oil filter mount. Spread a film of new engine oil on the seal of the new filter. Screw the new filter on by hand until it contacts the mount surface, then tighten it by hand an additional 1/2 turn only. Finally, clean up that oldie mess you made on the axle. This filter is replaced at 50 hours and every 400 hours after that.
Well, I hope you found this video useful in helping you maintain your tractor. Remember, maintaining your tractor according to your manual is the best way you're going to get the most life and trouble-free operation out of your tractor. And if you found this video helpful in any way, please click the like button, leave a comment, and by all means subscribe. And if you want to know when I post a new video, click that little bell. And as always, thank you for watching.